Stitch Cutie, welcome to the video tutorial for your block 9 of your Bukuru. I cannot believe we're at block 9 already, and this block is so much fun to make. It's really cool. We only use 2 colors in this one. Can you believe it? Look at all that. Okay, so let's first talk about what you need to have set up. So first you'll load your file in your embroidery machine for block 9. I'm going to set my pattern aside. You have your fabrics are already cut in your box to the size you need, so just give them a press and you're ready to go. You have 1 orange and 1 black like always. Then you have all your pre-fused laser cut applique pieces. I've gone on and peeled the backing off all of them. They're totally ready to go, and I have them in a nice little safe place. If you have a little bowl, it's fun to put it in that so you don't lose any of the cute little pieces. Then you want to have 2 thread colors. So we are going to stitch most everything on this block in black. This is a sulky 40 weight rayon thread. It's 1005 black. And then we have 1 piece on this block that's the little yellow star that we will use the 0567 on. And then as always, every month, my layout, I have my cutting mat and my rotary cutter so that at the end I can trim my block. I have my Steady Betty, which makes it really nice for pressing my applique pieces on. And of course, my handy dandy Steam Fast travel iron. And then my favorite pair of scissors that I like to have are my Karen K Buckleys in any size. I usually have the medium back here, but the past few weeks I've had the large back here. They all are great no matter which size you have. So load that file on your embroidery machine and let's get started. Okay, so that very first step, just like all the other months, is 1 straight line across the pretty much lower part of your hoop. So what we're gonna do is put our fabric in place. Now again, I always turn it sideways so it fits on my Steady Betty and stays in the camera shot for you. But what you do is line your fabric just a hair over it, pretty much meeting that line, centered in your hoop. So you have your orange fabric right side up, and then you're gonna put your black fabric down. And so it'll be right sides together. The black pretty much has no right side, but if you think it does, right sides together. And then what we're gonna do is just gently tape this in place. And again, we're gonna keep that black thread on all the way until the very last step. So you don't have very many thread changes at all. In fact, just 1. Pretty cool, huh? And let me give it a little piece of tape up here. Why not? You know, some days I feel like a lot of tape and some days I feel like not much tape. You know, just depends. Okay, so this is what your hoop should look like, right? Just like every month you have your fabric lined up. We're going to move forward with the next step with our black thread, and it's going to give us 1 more straight line, but that's going to be our 1/4 inch seam. Okay, now our 1/4 inch seam line is stitched. So what we're going to do, take the tape off gently, and we are going to then, just like the other months, I know this part's routine for you now, but I'm still going to go over every step. You just gently finger press that down, and then on your Steady Betty, make sure you have nice pressure under your hoop. You're going to iron that. Look at that, perfect seam allowance. I love it. Okay, so now again, I'm just gonna put a little bit of tape just down here. And the next step, the machine is going to do our trim line like it always does, and it's going to give us our first round of applique outlines. Okay, so now it's time to iron on our first round of applique pieces, and I want to point something out. Notice how we have 2 pieces that are stitched over each other. That means they're going to overlap and underlap. So let's take a look at the picture of our block, because the next few steps we will need to make sure we put our pieces down in numerical order. So for example, we're going to put down piece number 1, which is the black part of the shoe. And then we're going to put down piece number 2, which is the leg. So for every step, just pay attention to make sure you follow that numerical order. And actually, one little trick, if you can see off to the side, I kind of used my placement guide and laid my pieces out just so I make sure I get 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, blah, blah, blah. So you can do that too. Just follow along in the video. So like I said, the first piece is number 1, which is the little black tongue of the shoe on the left shoe. So there we go, put that in place. Now we're gonna get piece number 2, which is her left leg. She fell in a pot, cracks me up. There we go. And now we're gonna do the tongue on the right shoe. Isn't that what it's called? The tongue of the shoe? I think it is. If not, I just sound really weird, because saying the tongue of a shoe sounds really weird. So whoever named that, I mean, come on, we couldn't have thought of a different name? Watch that not be the word for it. I'm gonna laugh at myself later. All right, and then this is actually number 21, but there's nothing overlapping, so we can put it down now. There we go. Zap that into place. And then we have 2 of the pieces down here, numbers 13 and 14, which are the little aqua pieces that the cauldron is sitting on. So just make sure we get those in place, and we'll zap them down. There we go. Okay, so now we're gonna put this back on, keep that black thread on. Remember, we're gonna go all the way through the black buttonhole stitching with that black thread. Now the machine is gonna give us a few more pieces. It's gonna give us an outline for where we're gonna put the purple stripes on this left leg. It's gonna give us the outline for her right leg, and it's gonna give us our left boot. Okay, so now it's time to iron on this second round of pieces, and like I just said, we're gonna make sure that we already have 1 and 2 down, so we're gonna go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7's already down, and then 8. So let's get those pieces ironed on. So I'm gonna start with the stripes. So we have a stripe right here. How cute are these? And you know what I was just thinking? For Halloween, I'm usually very boring with my costume. I usually just wear like a black dress and a witch hat or like cat ears. Like I'm very not exciting with my Halloween costumes. It would be really fun to have stockings like this, and I could dress up like the Boo Crew quilt for Halloween. I'm planning ahead. What month is it now? May, and I'm already planning for October. Maybe we'll be allowed in public by then. I'll actually really will be excited to do Halloween. Okay, and now let's do our boot, our little, or maybe it's a high heel. You think it's a boot or a high heel? Kind of boot, high heel. It's a witch shoe. There you go, and just make sure it lines up everywhere. I'm gonna kind of hold it and then just work my way across the piece with the iron. There we go. Oh my gosh, so cute. And again, while it's still hot, if you don't like where you got it, kind of just squish it around. There you go. And now we are going to do, this is piece number 8 right here. And see, the reason we do it in this order is because see, that just barely overlaps right there with that stripe. But nonetheless, it does overlap. There we go. Okay, so now everything is ironed on for this step. What's gonna stitch now? We're gonna get the outline for the stripes on her right leg, her right shoe / boot, and then the cauldron. Okay, let's iron these pieces on, because when we do, she's really gonna start looking like a little witch coming out of a cauldron. It's gonna be fun. Okay, so we're starting with piece number 9, which is this top stripe. Get that right in there. And then we have number 10. Look at those perfect little stripes. And number 11. I'm just putting them all in place, and I'll iron them all at one time. There we go. So cute. So zap those down. Now we're gonna do piece number 12. So that was 9, 10, 11. This is 12. Get that perfectly in place, looking good. All right, and now her cauldron. We're almost done ironing on pieces. We only have 2 more steps of pieces to iron on after this. I love it. There we go. Perfect. Okay, let's take a look. Are you getting so excited? I am. Look at that. That's adorable. Okay, so we're gonna put this back on, and now what's gonna stitch is an outline for the 2 black accents that go on the cauldron. All right, so our 2 outlines are stitched. There's no overlap here, so you can iron whichever one in whatever order you want. So let's just get the top piece lined up. Look at that cute little cauldron. I love it. Ooh, let me come down a little. There we go. Now I'm in place. And just zap that little guy. And now we'll put the bottom piece. This is just adorable. You know what's really fun? It was, who were we talking to on the phone the other day? A customer called, and she said, you know what's so interesting and why she thinks things are so cute? So we do use a lot of solids. And so most of this block is solids. And that's true. When you use solids or maybe just a few prints, it really does give that clean, crisp feel. So that's fun. Okay, so this is what your block looks like right now. So we have one more step to put in place, and that is the 3 outlines of the little X's that go across the cauldron. And now we have those 3 X's outlined. I know it's probably really hard to see the black thread on the black cauldron on the camera, but you'll be able to see yours at home. So the 3 X's that we're gonna put on, they're all the exact same X, but they're not symmetrical. So you just wanna make sure you have them flipped the right way, right? So we're just gonna get in here, and I am gonna do one at a time just to make sure I get it perfectly lined up. Boop. There we go. Let's get our second little X. And sorry, I think my head might be showing. If y'all could see me, oh my gosh, my hair is long right now because, you know, you can't get a haircut right now. All right, and then this one in place. There we go. All right, so now the fun begins. Well, actually, the whole thing has been fun, but I love watching the machine stitch. So when we put this back on, the machine is gonna do the black buttonhole stitch on everything except this star, right? So this entire piece right here is gonna have the buttonhole stitch done, and our little block is gonna come to life. Then we'll come back for just the final color change for that star. Okay, let's take a look at this cuteness. So all of the black is stitched, which means your entire block except for your star is stitched. Does that not look so stinking cute? Oh my goodness. Okay, so now we just have this one color change. We're gonna put on that 0567, the butterfly gold, AKA yellow. And the machine is gonna do a buttonhole stitch around our star, and then we'll come back to trim. Okay, let's look at this perfection. See our star? How cute is that? Look how good I did on the points. I love it. So now let's take a look at the whole thing. Adorable. All we have to do is trim, and then we're ready to wait for our block 10. Can you believe block 10 is coming already? Oh my goodness. Okay, let me set my hoop aside. And now, you know the drill by now, I'm sure. All you do is trim just a little hair inside of that line, like really just making sure it's barely gone, so your block is the right size. Oh, and let me grab my rotary. My cutting table where I cut my stabilizer is behind me, and I always leave it back there. I try not to. Oh my gosh, so cute. Now let's cut at the top. And get that nice and lined up straight. So cute. And now we just have the 2 sides. And don't you love when you start trimming this off, the stabilizer and the extra fabric, how adorable it looks? I know I do. So just get that lined up nice and straight. Give it a cut. Oh, I cut kind of on the thread there, but nevertheless on it, so it's gone. And then let's get this side. And I use my lines to make sure that I'm nice and straight. There we go. Let's take a look. Got fuzz on my table now. Let's see our finished block. How cute is that? Do y'all not love it? I do. This is definitely one of my favorites. It's hilarious to me. Okay, so I hope that you have enjoyed this video tutorial for block 9 of the Boot Crew, and I hope that you all are staying safe and healthy and having a really fun time stitching all your Stitches of Love projects. Happy stitching!